When I was in high school, I used to have a job of preparing the salad bar we had for lunch and dinner. To do this, I would have to get out everything we would need for the day from the basement in the giant freezer we had down there. I would then have to wash it and cut and peel everything. So, it was mid-December and I just installed Facebook on my phone. Needless to say, I used to spend too much time on there. One day, I noticed a friend request notification on my phone. It was a guy with some strange name like the Hell Lord or something. I accepted the friend request, and as soon as I did, a message saying hi popped up. I said hello in return, and then things went weird. He asked me for the address of my house. I refused and ended up telling him that I live in a boarding school, which I soon understood was a wrong move. He sent me some video link, and on tapping, it took me to a dark-themed video. There, someone was whispering something. Out of curiosity, I plugged in my earplugs, turned the volume full, and listened to it. It said, "Tonight." And then I listened to the creepiest laugh of my life. I snatched the earplugs out and blocked that guy. The next day, due to my salad bar duty, I had to get up at 5:30 a.m. As soon as I woke up, I was feeling uneasy. I quickly took my shower and got dressed so I could go to the lunchroom at about 6. Also, there was just kitchen staff awake and the rest were all in their dreams. The person in charge of the kitchen was already there and getting everything warmed up. I said hello and checked out what we would need. I made a list and headed down. Now that feeling of uneasiness was there the whole time, through my whole shower, walking the dark hallways in the morning. And even when I got to the kitchen, I opened the freezer and felt the cold blast of air. Needless to say, I could have cut diamonds with how cold it was. I stepped inside and started getting vegetables. As I was reaching for one, I heard a giggle. This wasn't a normal one, but the same I heard last night. I instantly froze and whipped around. No one. I brushed it off and continued. Another giggle. I was now terrified like hell. Flick. Now the lights went off in the freezer. I still had a bit of light because I left the door open. Suddenly I saw someone dashing out of the freezer. I felt as if I was going to die down here, but then I noticed the door was still open. It was closing slowly, and once closed, it could only be opened from the outside. I bolted for the door because I knew I would be locked in there for at least 15 minutes with the lights off if I didn't. I caught it right before it closed. Again, I hear the giggle. This time, it was right behind me. I screamed. I was 17 and screamed like a baby. I ran upstairs, told the guy I wasn't feeling well, and went and hid in my room until everyone else got up that morning. Finally, I told the incident to my warden, and he called the cops. They searched the whole area, and the only trace they found was a broken window. This incident still freaks me out. Afterwards, I never released any of my personal information to anyone I used to meet online. But still, the fear of that guy breaking in again frightened me throughout the school. I am not a teacher myself, but my friend told me this story. She told me about this little boy who used to give death stares to the teachers. He was an extremely isolated kid who refused interacting with other kids of his age. He used to sit in the corner of the class, and when any other child tried taking the seat next to him, he used to push them away. My friend absolutely loved kids, but she said that she had never seen such an angry child before. His face was always flushed with anger. and it seemed as if he hated the world with all his heart. He said that he used to face the walls during the class and bash his head repeatedly against the wall, and he didn't stop until the teacher or staff intervened. He developed this weird habit of biting children, and one day in the dining hall when everyone was having their lunch, he stabbed the lady chef in her arms to a point she started bleeding. Something was seriously wrong with the kid. In my friend's class, there was an incubator in which small chicks were placed so the kids could look after them and watch them grow. Once, that kid was left unattended and he squeezed the life out of one of the chicks. My friend left that school and got another job, but whenever I think about that boy, I often wonder, what was the matter with him? It still freaks me out. I was randomly assigned a roommate in the start of my senior year. I was happy to get a sweet and polite one, and I was excited to get along with her. After 2 nights of moving in, I woke up in the middle of the night. I heard someone sobbing softly outside my door. It was a kind of weird, cracking sound. And if I may say, it was the kind that's always shown in horror movies. I summoned all my courage and peeked out of my bedroom. My roommate was moving around the apartment, crying. She was sleepwalking, I guess, because her eyes were closed. I opened the door and then she headed towards the kitchen table, picked up a pencil and started drawing a symbol on the door. It was like a triangle in a circle. I tried asking her if she was okay, but she didn't answer. I locked the door after taking her to bed. The next morning, she was really mad at me, but scared at the same time because some demon symbol had appeared on her door and she thought I'd pranked her. I told her the truth, but she didn't believe me. This happened several times throughout the year. In the middle of the night, I would find her in the kitchen talking to herself. And then there was this crying sound and scratching on the door. Each morning there would be a new symbol on the door and she'd blame me for it. I tried filming her, but I was too scared to open the door and go out. This one time, when we both were in separate rooms, we heard a bang on the door from the common bathroom. There was no one else in the dorm except for us, so we went to see what happened. We looked everywhere, but nothing had fallen over, and there were no windows or other doors to the bathroom other than the one leading to the living room. When we pulled back the shower curtain, there was a huge arc of blood there. When she saw it, she fainted instantly. I too was shocked to death, but managed to remain conscious. Later that night when I was studying, she rushed into my room to ask me about what I was telling her. I questioned what she was talking about. She told me that when she was in the bathroom, she saw me whispering something into her ear. Obviously, I wasn't there. I don't know if she's being delusional or what. When she went out on the weekend, I used to hear voices coming from her side of the dorm in the middle of the night. She moved out at the end of the year, but I still wonder, what was all that about?